I suppose that's a way to social distance. Day 14. The houseplants are no longer talking to me, except for that cheeky bamboo in the bathroom. And all it does is quote verses from Deuteronomy at me just to piss me off. I will have my revenge. As you very well know, now is not a particularly healthy time to go diving into dumpsters for films. Not that it's ever a particularly healthy time, but now it's especially not so. However, when the films are just sitting in a free bin on the sidewalk at your feet, and you know you have lots of Lysol spray and disinfectant wipes at home, what's a girl to do? My point is, we now have plenty of material to cover while we are stuck indoors for potentially months. Hope you like old sci-fi. You'll also have to forgive the temporary change from just crawled out of the dumpster casual to, I guess I'll just take another nap chic. 1951's Bride of the Gorilla stars Raymond Burr, Barbara Payton, Lon Chaney Jr., and Tom Conway. Well, this ought to be fun. We have Perry Mason the defense attorney and Sherlock Holmes the private detective in one movie, yet Lon Chaney Jr. gets to play the lawman this time. If it tells you anything at all, this film was shot in 7 to 10 days, depending who you ask, it seems. Well, we've seen what 3 days of shooting does to a movie. Let's see if it improves at all by giving yourself an entire week. It's probably not a good sign when all of the jungle animals are trying to leave the movie right from the start. Last night I dreamed I went to Mandalay, only someone put it in the jungle and gave it a crap budget. Barney the plantation manager is complaining to the owner's wife Dina that he cannot hang on to workmen long enough to get any actual work done. She basically tells him, "You're in the jungle, suck it up."
A woman wants to be loved.
Maybe a woman wants peace and quiet too. Ever think about that, Barney boy?
The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked.
Nothing like uplifting scripture to whet the appetite for dinner. And right there at the dinner table, Klaus the owner fires Barney.
Do go away. Don't leave.
That's all I need to know.
Oh, because the jungle wasn't hot enough, am I right? The doctor, it seems, is also in love with Dina and admits it to her husband.
Don't go away.
Well, I guess there's not much else to do in the jungle but fall in love.
He will never hurt you again. Never.
Or the opposite, I suppose. Barney confronts Klaus in the jungle.
You're standing in my way. And Dina's.
They fight, and Klaus gets knocked down and bitten by a snake, sees a snake and has a heart attack. He dies randomly, and the old woman witnesses the entire thing.
He can't hold you here.
It would indeed be hard for him to do that now that he's dead. The old woman uses the dead body and a leaf from some plant to curse Barney.
He shall be like an animal that haunt in the jungle. Jungle shall haunt him to his death.
He was a sick man. It may well have been that he had a fainting spell in the garden and the snake attacked him.
And your private opinion?
My private opinion is of no value.
Well, give yourself a little credit, Doc.
Don't want to ruin everyone's good time.
Shut up, Eeyore.
The inquest is closed.
Well, that was easy. An officer finds the poisonous plant in the old woman's room. She tells him he will be cursed if he destroys it, so he leaves it and doesn't tell anyone it's there. Wow, the police are all pushovers in the jungle.
In his eyes he shall be an animal.
Didn't you already curse him to roam the jungle like an animal? You're wasting your magic plant on curses you've already placed. Barney and Dina get married, and the old woman gives him a drink with the magic plant juice in it, and he takes over the plantation. But as soon as he signs the papers, his hand is tanning quickly. His hand is back to normal, but now he's cranky.
I'll send Dina in.
No, I don't want to see anyone.
I'm assuming this is their wedding night, but Barney suddenly is compelled to join the animals in the jungle.
Barney!
Pick up a quart of milk on your way back. Now both hands are transforming, and it's freaking out the rest of the animals.
These are my hands. It's not my arms, not my eyes.
That is my left foot, though.
A woman always knows a man's feelings about her.
She does? I mean, she does. She totally does. I've never been wrong about that kind of thing. Doc goes to the police commissioner for a chat about the big jungle cat that people are complaining about. You're in the jungle. You'd better get used to jungle cats, people.
A sukarat? That's a new kind of animal to me.
That's a famous jungle demon that tears living animals to shreds with its claws and then feeds upon them. Has been known to attack humans also. Someone will use this rumor to kill somebody. Blame it on the Sukharat.
That's not how I killed Fred. What? Apparently there's a dead cow or some other animal in the woods, and this man claims it was the Sukharat or whatever because he saw it.
It walks in his hind legs.
Like a man?
No, like a beast that walks like a man.
Technically that means he walks like a man, so yes. Then this happens. Yep. Dina is woken up and thinks someone is in the house, so she grabs a gun and begins shooting outside blindly, as you do.
What did you shoot at?
I don't know.
That's why I was blindly shooting at it, duh! Barney, it seems, has been in the jungle since the previous night, and Dina has no idea why. The police commissioner warns her that there is a dangerous animal in the jungle, then tells her to follow Barney next time he goes out. That makes sense. Dina finds Barney stuck in a trap. They get him out and the old woman bandages him up. Dina proposes that they leave the jungle and go travel the world. He agrees, so they start selling the plantation.
Your eyes, the pupils, they worry me.
Well, you're getting so close to my pupils worries me. Doc thinks Barney's been poisoned, so Dina once again sets out looking for Barney and can't find him.
I saw him crossing the garden for the jungle.
When he doesn't return by 10 p.m., the plantation buyer decides to leave.
Mrs. Chavez can sign the papers. She's the legal owner.
She could?
My husband's the boss in this house.
Well, I wish my wife could hear that.
Oh, screw you! Barney is looking worse for wear when he finally returns a couple of days later, telling Dina he is not leaving the jungle after all.
I can see further than I've ever seen before.
Farther, not further. I guess it doesn't matter if you're turning into a jungle animal, but still.
I can smell 1,000 smells.
Did you know leopards fart all the time? Dina goes to the doc and he tells her that someone is probably poisoning him because he killed Klaus. Sure.
I'm going with you.
You haven't got the eyes to see or the ears to hear.
You won't be able to smell leopard farts. The police commissioner and Doc find the magic plant all used up, figure out what happened, and set out to the jungle to find Dina and Barney. I feel like a skirt and heels are not the ideal getup for a traipsing around the jungle, but whatever. Barney transforms into a gorilla or the Sukharat or whatever, and Dina faints at the sight of him because apparently women always did that until about 1967. So Barney the creature picks her up and the men shoot him. Smart when he has a hostage in his arms. Barney sees one last reflection of himself in the water as the gorilla, and like Narcissus, falls in love with it and leans in for a big ol' kiss. Actually, he probably dies from being shot. That makes more sense.
The jungle has risen to punish Barney Chavez.
Actually, it was the old woman and the magic plant, but whatever. The end. The arguably compelling plot aside, one other reason this film is in the dumpster, or in this case the free bin on the sidewalk, is probably because it's yet another victim of public domain obscurity. Bride of the Gorilla was released by Jack Broder Productions, a branch of Real Art Pictures, not to be mistaken with Real Art Productions, which specialized in silent films. Real Art Pictures came about in 1948 when Universal Pictures became Universal International. Universal wanted to be a more prestigious company and therefore was no longer interested in many of their older films. The films were then leased, which who knew that was a thing, to Jack Broder and Joseph Harris, the heads of Real Art Pictures. This gave the two the theatrical reissue rights to all Universal films released between 1930 and 1946 for the next 10 years. They began reissuing these films as double feature packages with new advertising and even new titles in some cases. The 1940 film One Night in the Tropics simply featured two comedic actors known as Bud Abbott and Lou Costello. Real Art cut 13 minutes of footage featuring the original romantic lead actors and made it a full-fledged Abbott and Costello comedy. Though the re-releases were successful, they were not very profitable, so they took their money and began making their own films. One of the 10 films released under Jack Broder Productions was Bride of the Gorilla. It appears now that most, if not all of these 10 films are in the public domain. So yeah, you could spend your time looking for the newest releases on Netflix, but you could also spend your time looking for the oldies but goodies online or on the sidewalk. Just sanitize it thoroughly if you do that. Why can that? Probably is such a hard word for me. I don't know why. It's like another. Yeah. One other reason this film is in the dumpster. Film? Cruising the Netflix.